Good evening, everyone, kings and queens, God and goddesses. Tonight is Monday Spiritual Studies. Let's Talk podcast. So, tonight we're actually going to talk about some amazing things tonight. Sometimes people hear things, but they don't understand what's being told to them. So I'm going to bring our host in, and we also have a special guest that we will be bringing in later on this evening. So with that being said, where's she at? Why I can't get her in here? Sometimes I don't think I'm pressing on accept hard enough. Okay, there we go. Hi, Queen.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you doing? How is your energy?
I am great. My energy is beautiful, saged and everything. My energy is great.
It fell apart.
Oh man. But it's still usable.
It sure is. So as you guys can see, I'm on the inside today. It's actually raining. It's a little cooler, so I was going to be outside, but because of the rain, I'm just going to come in. Actually, guys, I'm really just getting my voice back. My voice was gone for a minute. I don't know why it was gone. Maybe on the other rim I was partying too hard or something. I don't know. But so tonight we're going to talk about something very amazing. It's going to wake up your spirit because, people hear things and they learn things through other people. But when you learn something for yourself, then it kind of stands out a little bit better because you're learning it for yourself instead of hearing hearsay or she say or however you want to say it. But tonight we're actually going to talk about, like I said, something amazing. Sun Goddess, do you want to talk about anything before we actually get the podcast going? So not about the podcast.
Well, just want to tell everyone, thank you for tuning in. Of course, we have this each and every Monday nights at 7 p.m. CST time. You can always find our stories on the Instagram on Food for the Soul 444. That's our Instagram page. You can always reach out to us through the messenger if you have any questions, or if you want to talk about a topic or a specific topic, you can hit us up as well personally, and we will try to get that topic out and discussed for you. And then also you can tune into our YouTube channel as well too, Spiritual Study Podcast, Food for the Soul. Okay. And you can check us out on those to watch our full videos and different things of that sort. All right, back to you, Spirit Queen.
Okay, thank you, Sun Goddess. You just do a
Mhm.
marvelous job. I don't know what I would do without you. But thank
Thank
you
you.
so much for always keeping everybody updated and tuned of what's all going on. So tonight we are actually, like I said, we're going to discuss something that's very, oh my God, some people say this about it and some people say that about it, but tonight we're actually going to break it down. So I'm going to start it off like this. In Genesis 1:29, God said, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of all earth, and every tree which is the fruit of a tree yielding seed shall be your food. Okay. So when I talk about that, I'm talking about the seeds, the herbs, the thing that the Most High gave us for food. It says it right there in Genesis 1:29. That's the beginning of the Bible. So remember, this is a spiritual class. So everything that we talk about, we relate it back to spirituality because this is what it really was supposed to be. This light kind of blinded me a little bit. This is what it's really supposed to be. So in order for you to get it, we have to break it down to you on a spiritual level, and then maybe you will understand the difference of he say, she say. Now, when we give you this information, we want you to go and research, not just take our word or add on to what we're already giving you. Okay. So actually, Sun Goddess had an amazing weekend this week. So this is how we even came up with this topic for this week. So Sun Goddess, you want to tell us about your weekend?
Yes. So actually, I got a chance to go to California this weekend, LA, and do media for the Burning Trees Festival. So actually, it was a cannabis festival. So they had all type of different cannabis stuff. I mean, it was just so crazy and wild. But I really had a good time. People were talking to me about their different cannabis stuff. Some people even had natural herb cannabis that actually had the seeds in them, and we're going to talk about that as well because there's some cannabis stuff that's out here that isn't real, and then the one that is real is the one that has the seeds in it. So I'm just letting you know, anything that you're smoking without seeds is not real, okay? But anyway, furthermore, just had a great time. Shout out to all the beautiful artists that were out there that were
So,
performing.
who were some of the artists?
Oh man, so we had Born Divine. Shout out to Born Divine. Shout out to Merkham's. We had Busta Rhymes was there. We had Razzcast. We had Corrupt for the Dog Pound. We had Ludacris. Who else? Oh my God, it was so many people that's on stage. I hope I'm not. Oh, we had Exhibit. We had Too Short. We had the Alcoholics. Uh, It was so many people there, but the whole lineup from the beginning to the end. The Big Twins, shout out to the Big Twins. Havoc from Mobb Deep, shout out to Mobb Deep. They were there too. Like I said, I hope I ain't missed nobody because it was so many people that were there, but the lineup that they had, it was just simply amazing. I mean, everybody did their thing. Everybody got free herbs. But I will say at one point of time, actually, I did carry my sage with me when I was out there. And the reason why I carried my sage with me because this event was outside. So they had a lot of smoke that was outside from different type of, the venues and different type of vendors. So some of this stuff you kind of don't know what you're kind of absorbing in because with that smoke out there. So what I did is because I kind of felt some little things and stuff like that. So I lit my sage, and me and Tarbers, because we're shout out to my boy Pharaoh from Media Made Magazine. We're really in tune with certain stuff like that. So if something comes like within us or whatever, so I ended up lighting my sage and I had it in my face like this. And I was absorbing it in. So I was breathing it in my lungs and breathing into it because, yeah, you just don't know sometimes, what you're kind of like intaking and stuff like that. So we just had to be careful with that just a little bit because, like I said, it was coming from different ways and, and different stuff. And I was like, it got to the point a little bit where I had to kind of step to the side and light my sage. It was like absorbing because it was like, whoa, that's a lot of smoke.
I can imagine. Oh my
Hey,
goodness.
Tawana.
Imagine. So it sounds like Sun Goddess had an amazing weekend, and we're talking about cannabis. I'm actually burning my cannabis incense that Sun Goddess had got me for my birthday. So I am burning it, contributing to the studies. So, guys, again, we just want you guys to learn things and add these things to what you already know. And if you know something that we don't know, please tell us because we're willing to learn too. So we're talking about cannabis tonight. So when we say cannabis, there are many things that people think, okay? So hemp and marijuana, they are two different names for cannabis. Two different names.
Two different things too.
Huh?
I said two different names and two different things too.
So cannabis and hemp, They both have CBD and THC. Now, there is 540 other substance in these, okay? So remember, we have a guest that we're going to bring in later, and she's going to break down the cannabis and the things that she has even further and deeper. And the reason why we're doing this is because there are a lot of people that think marijuana, CBD, hemp, cannabis, they think it's really bad, but it's really not. Remember, it's God given to you. What's not God given to you, and I hate to say this, is you eating animals. The Most High never told you to do that. But the Most High said in the scripture that I read when I first started, it is a herb that comes from a seed.
And
So,
it's only bad if you abuse it. And we'll tell you about how people abuse it versus how you really supposed to use it and what you're supposed to use it for.
okay. So that's a good point because we always think things are bad, but of course it's the way we use things. So cannabis contains more THC and less CBD. Hemp contains more CBD and less THC. Remember, I'm going to keep saying this, that we have somebody coming later to talk even more into depth about this, okay? There only is a difference because of laws, okay? So, you know, we melanated people and other people, we have been doing our thing we call as a hustle, okay? And now, if you pay attention, the same thing that the laws were saying were bad for you, now they're making it what? Legal. So that means it was never bad for you. They just didn't know how to put a cap on it so that they can be in control, you know? So that's how I see it. I think everybody should at least once, not trying to be funny, take them a little hit and to calm you down. You know what I'm saying? So I'm even going to go into detail in the Bible where it talks about where they actually used it to speak into the spiritual realm. Mm-hmm. So when they talk about the elders going up to the mountain and they were smoking out of these pipes before they carried the covenant, that's what they were doing. They were smoking because it maintained them, it relaxed them, and also it kept them from looking at the covenant because they weren't supposed to look at it, because if they did, then they would demolish into ashes. So I don't know if you guys know this, but all this is in the Bible. But of course, anything in there is something added, and there's always something taken away because they don't want you to know. Okay.
Correct.
Want to add anything to that?
Speaking of that, like you said, when you said that they went on the mountains and it was used for them to travel and just different things for the spiritual standpoint, that's what me and Spirit Queen is going to touch on today, because when you're taking in marijuana and when you're using marijuana, or what I want to say, however you want to say it, or cannabis, it's really supposed to be used at a spiritual standpoint. Mm-hmm. When you're outside in nature, or if you meditating, or if you just want to sit down and relax doing yoga, even when you in your house and you reading and you got a little wine, you know, you use them for those different type of things. It's never used to be abusive to it and just want to be out there every day and just want to smoke it every day just because it's there. And then you acting crazy and all that stuff. That's not even what it's really supposed to be used for. And people don't even know this. You can actually use cannabis to eat. People may think that that's weird, but it's this they said too as well in the book, that when you eat that, it actually heals certain ailments in your body. Yeah. This is what the Mayans and a lot of the Mexicans used to use for healing herbs. They actually still use it over in Mexico and different other places. People actually still eat cannabis. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yes, they do.
So a lot of people aren't just smoking it; they actually are eating it. And when they're eating it, they're eating the ones with the seeds in it.
Yes.
And like I stated before, when you're smoking cannabis and it doesn't have seeds in it, it's not the real cannabis. You're smoking something else that's getting you high, but it's not the real cannabis.
So you have to
Unless it's coming from the trees or the plants or the ground and you really pulling something up out of there or whatever. But any other thing and different things like that, that's why when I saw people handing me stuff yesterday for free. I'm looking in the bag and I'm looking in there like, okay, let me see if some seeds in there. But no, so it had seeds in them, so I was like, okay, yeah, this is legit and it's
okay, we know
confirmed. So.
what God is gonna be doing later.
But yeah, and I mean I used to be a person to where like, you know, when I had cannabis with me, and the reason why I would have a lot of it, or if somebody would come over like Spirit Queen, or if I would have a lot of it, is because that means I don't smoke a lot, or I don't smoke it every day. It's only for a spiritual standpoint, or it's only for me to use when I feel like I'm ready to just smoke it, or, you know, if one of my, you know, family and friends come over or something like that, we'll do that. But as far as just every day, every single day, no, I don't. I would not do that.
And you know, it's funny
Because
because
sometimes too, it can people not even knowing as well, it can also throw off your focus as well too. So like you said, you want to use it when you're in meditation mode or when you're doing yoga or you need an answer to something. You just want to use it at that time when you want to talk to the spiritual realm or when you want to talk to the Most High and different things like that. That's when you really want to use cannabis. Okay.
and when I actually started spiritual studies at my house, this is when everybody used to come to my house, we actually used to smoke in spirit studies.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be so amazing because it seemed like when we smoked in the study, it seemed like we received more knowledge. And I've always been the type of person that I never really smoked with people in public, how people be passing it around. I never did that. But at the end of my day, when I went home and I relaxed and everything, that's when I actually fired up, kind of relaxed. And it took me to another level. And it just balances you out. So we're just speaking from the spiritual side. We're not telling you how to smoke, what to do, or anything like that. But we're always going to give you knowledge and wisdom so that you will understand what this world or what life is about. And we don't want you to just stand on what we're saying. We want you to also research and understand it.
Absolutely.
Because again, remember that elders were doing this. They use that. So when you see the Exorcist. So remember when the pastor went in there and he was dealing with the girl and she was all, you know why that pastor was so calm? He was high. He had smoked some cannabis. That's what they were using stuff like that for back in the days. Now I don't know if they still use it, but that's what it was used for. So you can check out Genesis 1:29. You can check out Timothy 4 chapter 4 verses 1 through 4. It's there. We just have to learn how to break the Bible down, and I always call it decode it so that you will understand it. That's the book to give you the path to the knowledge, but you have to decode it so that you can understand it, because reading it just sounds like a bunch of whatever. But once you learn how to decode it, you can receive better knowledge on it. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So remember, God gave us the plant, cannabis. It was given to us from a seed. It say every seed, every bearing seed was given to you by God. So that means cannabis is good for you. You know, people look at it like, oh, it's outlawed. But did y'all know that weed has only been, I'm gonna say weed, I'm just saying weed, I'm old school, but do you know that weed has only been banned for like less than 50 years? So actually the reason why it got banned is because there was somebody running for office and they got a bunch of people to agree with them that it was bad for them. But before that happened, they were making clothes out of hemp. They were making this out of him. Your soap, everything that we going back to, everything that we're going back to is not new. I always say nothing is new under the sun. It's not new. We as melanated people, we're bringing it back. But it not even less than 50 years ago, it was legal. So
just think about this. What she's saying, and I just want to say this really, really quick. Just think about this. They're making cannabis legal. Well, it may be legal in certain states, but you get locked up if you have it illegally. But they're not doing that for drugs, cocaine or heroin and different things like that.
That part.
But why would you do it for something that's a natural herb, that's a plant that's healing you, but you're not really tripping off or focused on people out here doing cocaine or heroin and all of that stuff?
Alcohol, it kills a lot of people. Look at
exactly. Cirrhosis of the liver, all of that type of stuff.
Yeah, everything. Most people that have car accidents, they don't even die. The other person end up being killed. So on that note, guys, we're going to go ahead and bring in our guest, Smiling Flames, and she's going to talk a little bit about what she has going on. She has actually cannabis products and things like that. And she's going to basically tell you herself what she has going on. Okay.
She said Traveling Within Yourself said it was banned because Mexicans brought it over, so they said it had to be a bad drug. Well, that was correct because we just talked about that. The Mexicans were the ones, and the Mayans, they were the ones that actually were using it for a healing mechanism. They were eating it and they were smoking it. So they were using it to heal.
That's what the Indians were smoking in their pipe. And that's why they gave them so much grief. So we just waiting on our guest, Smiling Flame, to come in. And she's going to touch base on some things that we have already talked about. Do I need to request her, or is she going to request to come in?
She should be. It should show where she's in, and then she should be able to request to come in, or you can request her if she's on.
Merry Christmas!
Don't start that. Not today. This is Smiling Flames, y'all.
Merry Christmas,
love and abundance, Queen. How you doing? Great.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Oh man,
how about
amazing.
You guys?
Over here.
You feeling the spirit? You know, I want my green shadow, you know.
Well,
feeling the spirit.
My cannabis. How about that?
I got my sage. You hear me?
Yes.
So tell us a little bit about yourself, Smiling Flames, and let us know what it is you do, how long you've been in business, and then how long have you been doing everything that you're doing now?
Man, I do a lot, honestly. I really do. But since we're talking about cannabis, I'm just going to give you two of the things that I do, but I do a abundance of things. One is I'm a wellness coach, which I utilize cannabis in my wellness planning. Another one is I have an adult line called Cannabis, where I make my oil, my lubricants, and suppositories using cannabis terpene strains. So I got so with the Cannabis, you don't get the thing about using the terpenes, you don't get that CB1 reaction, that psychoactive reaction. You just get the effects, you reap the benefits of what it brings to you.
Okay, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, so instead of like the oils and the suppositories and things like that, people be worried about, oh man, I'm gonna be high. No, it just relaxes you. Like if you're one of those people that get tensed up before sex, right? Or if you get tensed up, or you just nervous, you know what I'm saying? You just like, hey, I don't know how I feel about this partner right here, or whatever the case may be. Certain strains give you that calming effect. Or if you just want to go into that BDSM, you know what I'm saying, and get a little bit more kinky.
You
Certain
want to
strains,
be one within that person when you taking in them products anyway.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? Because it will relax both of y'all, and then
absolutely,
that energy and that
absolutely.
frequency will just slide together.
Absolutely, absolutely. So it's different strains. Like train wreck is good for the BDSM, right? Girl Scout cookies is good for your own pleasure, right? So if you just want, yeah, Girl Scout cookies, that's one that's good for like your own pleasure. You just sitting down, you just feel like you want to touch yourself, love yourself a little more. Those are good for that. Then we got Granddaddy Perk, which is like the green Viagra, right? So we got a bunch of different strains, and I can go on and on, but we have a bunch of different strains that just actually give you that effect of making that time in the bed a lot better without, giving you that high effect, that head
Okay, now
effect,
let me
that
ask you a question,
psychoactive.
Smiling Flame. All of these things that you have in these products, are they natural? Like, are they actually natural and different things like that? Because I'm plant-based myself. I've been plant-based for 4 years and stuff like that. So, if someone that's plant-based, are they able to use these products as well?
Absolutely. It comes
Okay.
straight from the cannabis, right? Cannabis flower. So it's strained. The oils are strained straight from the cannabis flower,
Okay.
and that's the terpenes, right? So the terpenes is what, like, say for instance, what you smell on the flower, the cannabis flower, right? So that smell is the terpene. So just like with cinnamon, it's the
Right.
terpene. That cinnamon smell is the terpene. So that terpene is what gets you there. So it's just strained right off the cannabis flower.
All
Mm-hmm.
You want
right.
to touch on that, Spirit Queen?
What's the name of the line again? Okay. So
Cannabis.
remember that.
Yes. And also, I do wellness, and I work with cannabis strains as well. So, to avoid, because I don't use, I'd rather not use pharmaceutical meds, right? I am more of natural based meds. So I try to refer my clients to a lot of herbs and spices and things like that. So it's different strains that is good for just healing, right? It's all about how you
We were just
consume
talking
cannabis
about that,
too,
yeah.
right? So uh, absolutely. So consumption, microdosing is very, very important, right? You have to microdose. Don't start at this large, big old piece of edible, right? Because everybody else is eating this large piece of
Oh,
edible. You want to start at the
Right.
smallest and then work your way up, right? Because for one thing, with edibles, it can take 20 minutes to an hour and a half to kick in.
What
So
you gonna
you
be going
never
to?
know where you're going to be,
You
right?
probably gonna be bouncing off the
Yeah.
wall,
So
trying to do
it
jumping jacks,
can
running like, oh my goodness.
absolutely. Absolutely. So you like 20 minutes in of this edible, you like, man, it ain't really did nothing. Then here you go, 40 minutes later, you like, oh shit, I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to feel it, right? And then more and more. So it just kind of depends. Or sometimes it don't kick in until that hour and a half. And then it's sticking around from 6 to 12 hours. And you wondering why you waking up so high, right? But that's why I say it's really important to microdose when you're doing things like that sort, right? When you're doing edibles. Topicals are good for healing, right? Because those are ones that rubs on you, sublingual, you can do tinctures, things like that as well. But with topicals, it's only hitting at CB2, which we do have a cannabinoid system in our body. So it only hits that system and don't give you that psychoactive effect. As if you was inhaling it by smoking it, then you might get that psychoactive effect, just kind of depending on the situation, right? So yeah, so it's different ones that help. I know with pain, you can use like the strain Ray Charles, right? With cramps, you can use the strain bordello. I mean, it's a bunch of different strains that you can actually use for certain different things. Um, Alzheimer's, you can use blueberry headband, right? So it's a bunch of different strains. And to go back on, a lot of growers are growing and they're trying to avoid putting the seeds, just to go back on what you were saying earlier. They're avoiding putting the seeds in because they don't want people to copy, right? So that's why a lot of the strains don't have the seeds in it, because now you got their secret recipe and they can't say, hey, I can get you this, right? A lot of the times. Now you may catch a seed or two in a bag, but a lot of them is trying to avoid you from getting their seeds, you know, because that how would they be special, right? How would they make their money?
Okay. Sun Goddess, you want to tell the people what we're talking about right now tonight?
So guys, hi, thank you for tuning in to Spiritual Studies Podcast, Cannabis Talk, Let's Talk. Again, we do our podcasts each and every Monday nights, 7 p.m. CST time. Right now we have the queen on the other end of us. Her name is Smiling Flame, where she's talking about her cannabis products and different things that she has going on. If you want to catch our videos, you can actually catch them on YouTube at Spiritual Studies Food for the Soul, and you can catch our full videos there. Again, if you have any questions, you can type them in at the bottom. Smiling Flames will be able to, you know, talk to you about that, as well as Spirit Queen if you have some questions for any of us. So, you know, it's open up for discussion or anything that you guys want to ask as well, too.
And you're always welcome to join the podcast. We like people to join. So you're always welcome to join. So, Smiling Flames, you kind of heard us talking earlier about everything when it comes to hemp and marijuana and cannabis and all the different names. I'm old school, so I still say weed, you know. So do you want to touch base on anything that we actually talked about?
You know, my kids say, because every time I be like, man, move around, I'm about to smoke my smokes, right? I never say the names. Everything is smokes with me, everything, right? So, but I mean, like you guys said, it started out on a spiritual level, right? It's a healing plant. And that's what was taken away from us, a lot with the banding and everything, and it was used for rope. It was most definitely used for rope and war, right? So this plant was taken away from us or labeled as something bad because it was brought over by the people of color, which were the Mexicans, right? So when it came into when I can't remember, Banger or something like that. When he came into office, it just had to be something bad because these people are bringing it in, right? And these are bad people, so they're bringing it in, so it can't be something good. But honestly, it was beneficial. And then they chose when and where they wanted it to be good for us, right? So they brought it back. After one war, they brought it back again for another war to use because the rope is so strong. People don't know that we can use hemp for so many different things, right? For furniture, hemp for clothes,
everything.
Hemp for everything.
They banned.
Yes. Hemp can be used for hemp for concrete, hemp for like anything that you can possibly think of, hemp can be used for. So that's why now hemp is legal in 50 states, right? But it's still going to be an issue because of the THC in the cannabis plant, the marijuana plant or whatever, because no, we can't say we were wrong, right? We can't say we were wrong, so we're gonna make this as hard as we can. But even though it's curing people, like RSO is used for tinctures, topicals, whatever you need it for, right? The Rixin,
and I'm gonna even touch on that too. Even shrooms, mushrooms. But people, we're gonna touch on that on a different topic as well, because a lot of people don't even know about that. Okay. So
yes,
I'm just telling you. I'm letting you know.
Absolutely. So, you know, a lot of people, they feel we ain't got brainwashed to think this was a bad drug, but this plant grew out the ground. You know what I mean? This plant came out the ground. So who you really saying bad? You know, you saying the higher spirit, the God, you know, is giving us something bad when you telling us to follow the God. You know what I'm saying? It's just, it makes no sense, right? So,
and even a couple of our greats that were
yeah,
actually producing like the natural herbs, some of our herbs, like Dr. Sabi, you would see him in videos with his
yeah.
cannabis, you know, just smoking and different things. We even had I think one day I've heard a couple of people that hung out with President Clinton and said he smoked, you know what I'm saying, marijuana and weed, you
Absolutely.
know? Yeah.
Obama.
He only
Obama
puff. He didn't
smoke. Yeah.
exhale. Remember, he didn't inhale. Remember.
But you know, and
Oh,
this was all used
yeah,
for. I
right.
remember when the Indians used it so much, you know, and they would mix certain stuff up into liquid. They would mix the cannabis into liquid and actually absorb it inside of them to heal the ailments in bodies and different things like that and stuff like that. So yeah.
Think about this. Think about this. Okay. Unlearn to relearn to learn. So the reason why I say that is, if it was so
Absolutely.
bad for you, why when cancer first come about, why did they prescribe it to the patients? It heals your eyes. Listen to what I'm telling you. When you got glaucoma, it's a prescription. And it got seeds in it. It's regular marijuana. It's not.
But that goes again too to where they can't say, oh, they ain't told you all this time this
Right.
is bad for you, right? This is not good for you. If you do this, that people got sentenced to
Yeah.
jail for this, right? So now they got to take all this back and say, oh well, no,
But
it
Right.
works, but it only works this way.
Right.
But it only works this way. Or it only works, you still can't have it because of this. Or you still can't have it because of that. You know,
because
there's
it's
still some
control.
stipulations
It's
to it,
control.
but at the same time,
Right.
yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I was touching base with Spirit Queen earlier, Smiling Flames. I was just letting her know that most of the time that's what they used it for as well too, as well as eating the healing elements. And then they also used it doing meditation moments, doing yoga, doing spiritual stuff when they were going on top of the mountains, doing certain things. So that's what, you know, the cannabis was really used for, not to really be able to abuse it and go out here and really act crazy and stuff like that. That's not really what it's all about and what it's used for, you know. And some people,
But you gotta think, really, for real, people
That's
who do
right,
cannabis don't
right,
act crazy, right? People
not
who do
straight.
cannabis don't act crazy. People who do other drugs, people who do other drugs and drinks, that's where you get into the fights. That's when you go through all the crazy mess, right? You never see anybody, the most you might see
Go to
somebody
sleep.
doing that smoke
I was
cannabis
saying,
right.
go
is
to
laid out
sleep.
on
Or
your
sleep,
couch.
or
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 sleep.
in your refrigerator.
honestly, absolutely. So, or eating up all your food. They got the munchies, but you never see anybody who does cannabis act a fool. I've never met anybody I go to cannabis parties all the time, right? I go to cannabis parties where in Chicago where they have these secret hush cannabis parties, consuming parties. I've never in all the parties when I go to these parties, I've never seen
Yes.
anyone break out
Mm-hmm.
into a fight. Never. Right? So, but when you go to those bars, now people want to shoot each other. Now people want to kill each other. You know what I'm saying? Because they ain't got the alcohol. They got this alcohol curse going on. I don't know if there's that much courage coming with cannabis. I don't really know. You know, I haven't seen that man, I can fight the
I ain't
wall
think that.
courage with that, right? Now I have seen the stimulant part of it, right? As in the bedtime, but you know, I haven't seen the part where I want to walk through this goddamn wall. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
You too
yeah,
relaxed. You too relaxed. You ain't trying to go out there. heal. For, for,
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I say that's what made me come up with kind of sex, right? Because there's so many different benefits of it, right? Especially on a sexual pleasure. So they give you all these Viagra pills and they still got all these major side effects, right? This don't have those major side effects. This is a natural plant giving you natural things, everything natural oils, natural strains from the plant, the flower itself, natural lubricant. Everything is natural. And it just gives you that excitement, that extra excitement in the bed. Like I said, one of my ones, what I've noticed is a lot of people is into BDSM, right? You'll be surprised, right? So that train wreck is something else, right? That train wreck is something else. Girl Scout cookies, just having that moment by yourself. You sitting back and you chilling, you like, oh, I'm in the mood. That has been a really good seller, just to please yourself, just to have that moment with yourself. But people, we don't notice it, or we notice it, but we don't think it's it, right? But honestly, it's when you smoke, it's honestly the terpenes from that gives you that
okay,
effect.
Smiling Flames. How can we get those train wrecks and Girl Scout cookies? All
Those different cannabis products that you were talking about, let people know where they can contact you at and how can they get these products from you.
Okay, well, guys, I too have a podcast called Let Them Speak. And with that, you can contact me on my Gmail, Let Them Speak 20@gmail.com. And you can contact me there. You can make orders there. I also talk about it on my page as well, on my podcast. So, and you can also contact me on Wellness Reset, Wellness Reset Wellness Reset LLC 21 at gmail.com. So those are two platforms that you can reach me on. And then my Instagram, you can DM me on traveling_within_yourself.
and all that information she will put in the comment now so that you guys can reach out to her. Again, we are Let's Talk Podcast. I almost forgot my podcast. Let's Talk Podcast. So we're here to give you knowledge and wisdom and to teach you. And we're always bringing people on, and we want you to experience and share the knowledge. So at this time, do anybody want to come in and ask any one of us a question? You're more than to join. We always want you to join. Is there some knowledge you might want to give us? So now is the time to ask questions. Come join.
Yeah, we're open up for discussions, guys. So we see that you're tuned in. You got a question, type it into the comments and we will answer your questions for you.
Or you can come on to the podcast if you would like. So while we're waiting on someone to join us or ask questions, next week we're going to talk about laws of attraction. The week after that, we're actually going to have an 11-year-old that's going to be running the podcast. She's going to teach you different things, spirituality, when it comes to crystals and things like that.
Okay, so
we always have different people coming onto the podcast, but sometimes I'm the teacher and sometimes I'm the host. So these are the things that we do cover.
Okay, Eveline had a question. She said, how do we find our right strand?
Well, to answer that question, it just kind of depends, right? Like I said, a lot of times you have to, I just forgot the word, microdose. A lot of times you have to microdose, right? And it depends on what you're looking for the strain to do too as well. So like I said, the strains are based off terpenes, and certain terpenes give you certain different effects. So depending on what you want, right? So I know limonene give you an uplifting effect. So if you want to feel uplifting and things like that, then that might be the strain for you. But I also say microdose it. Take it a little bit at a time, smoke a little bit, take a puff or two, or if you're gonna eat it, take a small piece. It's okay, just to kind of see where you at. Caryophyllene, that's a more spicy, right? So that's more of an anti-inflammatory or digestive aid, right? So it just kind of depends on sleep aids. Is like terpinolene or something, terpinolene or something like that. That kind is a more of a sleep aid, right? So you want to, it depends on how you want to feel, because that really what brings your effects is the terpenes. So I know with the legacy growers, you can't read the back, but you can go on Leafly and you can ask your legacy grower, hey, what do you have? And you can go on Leafly and look up the product and say, okay, well, I don't want that effect. I don't want to be sleepy. I don't want to hair high. I want to feel this way. I want to feel that way. So you can go on Leafly and look those things up.
You type that in the comments too, Smiling Flame. I got you working today. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Any other concerns? Anything? This is your home. This is for you to ask questions. This is for you to come and join the podcast. Anything you want to know, now is the time. So if you ever wondered about cannabis, if you ever wondered about hemp, if you ever wondered about any of these things, now is the time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm going to ask Smiling Flame a question. Do you have something to give away?
One second. I can actually do a raffle and I can give away an oil.
So
yeah, I can give away an oil lubricant packet.
You can just connect.
Yeah.
What you gonna do with that?
Okay, so we're not doing a raffle. How we do it is we want to know how much were you paying attention in class, because this is a class that the podcast, even though we call it a podcast, but it's class. So Smiley Flames has been on since the class started. She's going to ask a question and she's going to type it in the comment, and whoever gets it, that's who gets the gift.
Just put it all on me, right? Just all on
so
me.
It'll just be so actually how or if you want to do it this way, do it like this. If you were listening, what are some of the strands that Smiling Flame has? And you can type it in the inbox or you can send a message, and if you get one of them right, she will send you a sample. Okay? Or what was the topic that we spoke about today?
Okay. Y'all heard that? What you say you gonna give away again?
Oil, body oil, and lubricant.
Okay, and if don't nobody get it, Spirit Queen get it. So y'all better come on.
Or Sun Goddess.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. So, guys, this is what we do each and every Monday. It's like being at home. We laugh, we joke. Actually, Sun Goddess is going to start something very soon, and we're going to piggyback off of it. So one night we're going to do it actually on the podcast. So I don't know if Sun Goddess want to talk about it now. I don't even know if she know what I'm talking about.
What are you talking about?
So I'm talking about your thing that you're going to do starting September, October.
Yeah, so yes, I do have a special co-host as well that will be joining me, but we'll talk about that later on. But yes, so I have a podcast coming soon, and it's going to be called Cocktails and Conversations with Sunny. And cannabis is not excluded from it. So, you want to come in and relax and you want to come in, we're going to be touching on different topics about relationship issues, childhood traumas, law of attractions, healing certain ailments, just all type of things that we're going to be talking about. Because where do people come when they want to talk? Sometimes people come to the bar.
To the bar.
you know, and they want to talk and they just want to, get their frustrations out, or they just want to get certain things out. So we're going to talk about it. And I am going to have that platform open to anyone that wants to talk about it. And I am actually currently looking for people that want to be on the show. So if you do, you can actually contact me at conversationswithsunny@gmail.com. But I am super, super excited about this. This is where I think and I'm not going to say think, I know this is where the Most High has led me back to, in as well as with the bar industry as well, because I make vegan signature cocktail drinks. So yes, they do have plant-based cocktail drinks. They don't just have like the regular drinks that you're drinking. And with my plant-based cocktail drinks, it actually soothes you out better than even having to get those regular drinks.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
So.
yeah.
So right now, I'll be taking submissions. This will be filmed live on TV as well, so it will be on Media Made TV and on our Roku app as well. And then also, I might have some segments on YouTube that you guys can watch, or some probably 15 to 20-second videos on Instagram as well. So I'm just super excited about it, and I'm looking forward to talking to each and like anybody that wants to come and want to be a part of it, just everything.
So can you type your information into the box and letting them know your information if they're interested, where to reach out. So again, guys, this platform, Let's Talk Podcast, it's for you guys. So this is why we do this each and every Monday at 7 p.m. CST time. So tell a friend to bring a friend. But we are going to have a cocktails night. We're going to let Sun Goddess open us up with a cocktail night. And like she said, it's going to be vegan. So we're all going to have our drinks. Ours might not be what hers is, but we're all going to have our drinks, and we're going to sit down and we're going to have a discussion panel. So,
and what I'll do is I'll actually go into depth of my drink and what it's made of, and then you guys can make it at home yourself. So I will actually let you know what's actually in my product, what's actually in my drink, and you can go get it and make it yourself. Might not be how I make it, but you make it and it's gonna be good, okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
The recipe, girl, at least to one, right?
So
the recipe.
Again, we just want to thank you for being a part of us. Food for the soul. And we just try to give you the food, which is the words to fill your spirits with everything. And I just want to touch base on something that Smiling Flame said. So it was said, Smiling Flame said that the Mexicans brought it over. Well, actually, all this was one land, so they just walked it over. So, and
right.
This
is
all one.
That part. Okay.
So, in fact, I just put a post up, I think last week, where it talks about how Columbus didn't discover America. He discovered us melanated people that was already here. So again, this is a platform for you to learn, get knowledge and wisdom. And also, we want you guys to tell us stuff, because we don't know everything, So sometimes we want y'all to come in. No, we want y'all to come in all the time and share your knowledge. So remember, what was the question again? Because you can get that package from Smiling Flame. Sun Goddess, what was the question again?
All right. So the question is, what was one of the strands, or what was one of the products that Smiling Flame says that she has? And if you can get that correct, she will send you the free sample, okay?
Oh, yeah, I got suppositories coming soon, too. Anal and vaginal.
Okay.
This is definitely an adult Let's Talk podcast. So I have to remember that when I post it.
not to mention, and when she's talking about these certain products, it actually works for that specific area that she's talking about.
Right.
So it ain't just working for your head or whatever.
Yeah.
When she says it's for your area, that's what it's for, and that's what it's used for. So yes,
So
I
you
love
might
it.
out to her if you want a certain area, like she said, because she have been making that a point of each area and what strain does what. So it's very important that you pay attention to that. Anybody have any more questions? Anybody want to come on the podcast? Okay, I guess that will do our night. Smiling Flames, we want to thank you for taking your time out to come and be with us and share your knowledge and your wisdom of everything. And don't forget, Smiling Flame has a podcast called Let Them Speak each and every Wednesday, 6 p.m. CST time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank you, lovely women, for having me on today. I am time. I'm always this hyper. I'm sorry. Even when I'm smoking, I don't know what it is. But
That's the beautiful thing about it. Even when you're not smoking, you're that way, and I'm that way as well. So hey, that's a beautiful thing to be and to have.
That part.
So happy Kwanzaa, you guys, and I love you with all my heart and all my feelings.
We appreciate you. We love you too.
All right. So on that note, guys, peace, light, and love. Thank you for coming. May the Most High lift you up and keep you lifted. And remember, this week, no matter what happened, we're going to get rid of negative energy and keep positive energy and keep your spirits lifted high. Peace, light, and love.
Peace.